Hello, first of all, thank you for 25,000 subscribers. That is a lot of people who chose to subscribe to this piece of crap, but thank you. So as I promised, this is a quick Q&A. I did post a YouTube community post and I asked you guys to send your questions and why you would want to listen to me talk about myself and my opinions for however long this video is. I don't know. So first we'll start with more of the nerdy questions. At Fishy Brick Films asks, what's your opinion on Interstellar? It's a good movie. I think I gave it 4 or 4.5 on my letterbox, so definitely like top 5 Christopher Nolan movies, I'd say. Actually, I don't know if that says anything. I don't know how many movies he has. Matthew McConaughey is great. About all the love stuff, like the love is the secret to the... I don't know how I feel about that, but it's a great sci-fi movie, and at its core, it's about family, so... he did a great job. At HBoy411 says, opinions on the Transformers movies? I haven't seen the Transformers movie since Age of Extinction, apart from Transformers 1. Transformers 1 was really good. I'm very disappointed that I didn't watch it in the cinema. Like, I'm disappointed myself for that. Like, after I watched it, I was like, fuck, I probably should have seen it in the cinema because that was a pretty good movie. If I rewatch any of the Michael Bay movies or any of the live action ones now, I probably hate them. So I'll try holding off on that for as long as possible. I did hear Bumblebee was good though, but I haven't seen that either. At Stranger BWU says, what's your favorite Marvel game? Generic answer, Spider-Man PS4 probably, but if I'm gonna go the nostalgic route, probably like Spider-Man Friend or Foe. That was pretty fun as a kid. Or as a kid, Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. That was a fun game to play with my brother, like a classic Marvel fighting game. I don't know if anyone actually knows that game. It was a very violent and very grimy Marvel game, and it was released in like 2007, 2008. I don't know, it was really fun to just fight people as Marvel characters and not just like a side-by-side like Marvel vs. Capcom style, like just actually run around, throw objects and shit. That was fun. At Her Majesty Velvet asks, what are some of your favorite superhero costumes of all time? Arrow Season 4, Brandon Routh Superman from Crisis on Infinite Earth, a Raimi Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield from Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. Those are probably pretty up there. I might be missing some though. Captain America's stealth suit is pretty sick too. I'll add that in there as well. At Mondo616 asks, do you wish the MCU had more projects in different mediums like animated movies / shows? Honestly, no. I feel like they should focus more on their movies and make them stronger because in reality, that's what more of the audiences are looking forward to. They're not fucking hunting on Disney Plus for more TV shows and shit. The general public, that's how you make your money, you know? The general public isn't looking for these animated shows or whatever. That's just for fans. Fans are like, what, like 1% of like the box office? Who cares? Just focus on making good movies. At Jesus Manuel Carroll 1444, I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. What's your favorite movie? The Social Network. To me, it's just a perfect movie. I've seen it, like, I've literally lost count of the amount of times I've seen that movie. You can see what I rate movies on my Letterboxd account. Sorry, I don't mean to plug my Letterboxd account like every fucking 3 questions, but it's there if you want to see what I think. At Cosmo MVS asks, what's your thoughts on Multiverses? Didn't play it and I don't hear anything about it now, so I'm pretty sure it's just dropped off the face of the earth and no one actually plays it. I think everyone's probably just migrated to Marvel Rivals or whatever. At Angel Morales 1234, again, I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, asks, what is your level of hype for James Gunn DCU? My level of hype for Superman is pretty up there. The teaser trailer just dropped pretty recently, and yeah, I've always had big expectations of James Gunn DCU, and I don't fault him for being stressed out from the amount of pressure that's put on the new Superman movie, but I'm pretty excited. I know some people are a bit iffy on the projects they've chosen to develop, like why are we getting a Clayface or potentially get a Clayface before a Batman movie in this universe? I also think the same thing sometimes, but I can't talk. At the end of the day, I'm pretty excited. He's a pretty good storyteller and I'm pretty sure he has a good eye for good scripts and he has a very high standard for what scripts will go through into development. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. At Meh Not Gonna Lie or Meh NGL asks, what heroes are you looking forward to for an adaptation into the MCU? For example, X-Men like Jean Grey, Cyclops, etc. I'm gonna count villains in as well because I think there's more villains I'm more interested in seeing in the MCU. Obviously Cyclops, but I'm not gonna really elaborate on that because I feel like everyone's already talked about Cyclops being brought into the MCU in the proper way. They need to treat him right better than the Fox movies. It's been talked about to death, so obviously Cyclops. Villains, I'm excited for Scorpion to finally appear. Like fucking hell, they teased him like almost 10 years ago and we still haven't seen him in costume. Green Goblin, if they can, but they kind of confirmed that they're not gonna do Green Goblin, so I guess Hobgoblin will be pretty sick as well. Omega Red will definitely be awesome to see as well. Just a bunch of X-Men characters to be done right in comic book form. At Ryan-W6V says, congrats on 25k. Will you ever make a video about the history of LEGO superhero games / movies, brackets, or the toys? First of all, thank you. And second, I actually do have a history of Lego stuff and YouTube. I used to have a Lego animation channel back throughout high school. It did pretty well, it did pretty okay, but it just took way too long to just keep doing these animations, and you know, you kind of just want to move on to other things. So I'm kind of burnt out on like associating Lego with YouTube, but I do keep up with what kind of sets they release, and you know, as you can see there. Clearly find some sets cool enough to get them every once in a while. But I enjoyed the Lego superhero games, especially as a kid. So yeah, but I don't think I'll talk about Lego games anytime soon. I was thinking about making a video about going back to my Lego animation channel, because it wasn't some like 20 subscriber thing. It was like, it did pretty decently well, and I think it'll be funny to revisit that. So yeah, at our Ninja Dab, oh my god, I apologize if that's a name and I just called it our Ninja Dab, but I'm not gonna try to pronounce it any other way because it could come off as racist. Do you think the year 2024 was kind of lackluster in terms of movies, specifically superhero related media? By the way, congrats. Thank you. In terms of superhero media, yeah, it was a bit lackluster. We didn't have much coming out this year, and what we had 3 Sony Marvel movies, which like, that already dilutes the quality of superhero movies that came out this year by a significant amount. Deadpool and Wolverine came out, a lot of people seem to like that. Penguin was good, Agatha was good, and we have Marvel's What If coming out soon. That's probably gonna be okay. But I think this year had a great run of other movies though, like non-superhero movies, like Dune Part 2, The Substance. I know Anora's meant to be really good. I know The Brutalist is meant to be really good. I think the Oscars will be pretty competitive. I think superhero stuff has been a bit lackluster for 2024, but if you look at the calendar for 2025, Marvel, fucking hell, they have like 10 projects coming out. I'm like, bro, you only had 3 this year. What is going on? Like we're gonna be so overwhelmed by Marvel next year, and everyone's gonna be like, up, let's get through it. Bring Superman in right now. Jesus Christ, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. This is why I always film in the morning. Fuck. At I'mNoob_V asks, have you watched the Harley Quinn animated show, and did you iron your shirt? I have seen the Harley Quinn animated show, but I'm not caught up on it. It's very good, it's very funny. I've heard that it kind of drops off as seasons go by, but there's actually no legal way of me to stream it anywhere in Australia, because they took it off the one streaming service it was on earlier, and I went to go watch it and I was like, where is it? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so that puts a major roadblock into me finishing it and catching up, so probably won't finish it for a while. And my shirt from the Marvel Rivals video, no, I did not iron it, but I'm sure it's fine because that was like my first time wearing that shirt in like a year. That's why it was all crinkled. And anyways, at some random dude asks thoughts on the TMNT. I love the TMNT. I grew up with them. I think they're a great concept, and you know, I always enjoy media about them. I'm not really caught up on the TV shows and stuff because obviously time. The new movie was pretty decent. I don't think it's gonna get a sequel, but I am looking forward to The Last Ronin. At Cloaker18 asked, what do you think is the most overrated movie doesn't need to be superhero related? In terms of recently, I didn't really like Poor Things with Emma Stone. I know a lot of people loved it and it won Oscars and shit, but I was like, this is so like weird and it didn't really gel with me. So there's that. In terms of superhero movies, overrated, probably to me, Deadpool and Wolverine, like story-wise it wasn't that great, but I get the excitement about it. Black Panther 1, it was a solid movie, but like to get like Oscars and shit, like what the heck, what? At 2001 Space Cowboy _ asks, am I good enough? If you're working hard to improve yourself and you treat people nicely, then yes, you are good enough. At Mr. Lego Grievous asks, congrats man, if you could make any comic book film, what would you make and why? Forever Evil, the budget will probably be like $500 million for that movie, but that would be fucking amazing. I also really love Superman's Secret Identity. There's always like rumors about having like a black Superman, like an Elseworld story. I feel like Superman's Secret Identity is a great way to do it, and if you don't know what it's about a kid named Clark Kent, but on a world like ours, there's no superheroes or anything, and he gets Superman powers. It's very interesting, it's very well written, and I really love that story, so that would be a great movie to make in live action. Also, thank you. At Kevin Hinojosa-Joe6JZ, I'm sorry for the name pronunciation. Congrats! In your opinion, what's the best comic book movie ever? These are really boring answers from me, but The Dark Knight or Spider-Man 2, like The Dark Knight is barely a comic book movie, but it's just so tight. It just gels together so well. Spider-Man 2, obviously, I don't think I need to explain that. Well, I didn't need to explain either of those actually. Well, we switched location because over there I was sweating my balls off and I'm not standing in front of a giant light right here, so hopefully this goes better. So we're gonna go into the second round of questions, which I am kind of afraid of answering, to be honest, but We'll see. At Doombot15 asks, how is your relationship with Mary Jane? What is your favorite Bob Marley song? Congratulations on 25k, good job. Do you produce your own music? Okay, let me answer all of those. By Mary Jane, if you're referring to marijuana, I don't really smoke. I'm gonna try holding off smoking anything in life for as long as possible. I know some people are like, oh my god, you gotta try everything at least once, bro. Like what? I don't have any interest. Alcohol kind of does enough for me, and that's enough. I don't listen to Bob Marley, and thank you for congratulating me on 25,000 subscribers. Do I produce my own music? Yes, I do. However, that means that I do get sick of what I release very quickly because I've heard it like a million times. Like everything I've released so far, I'm like, oh, I just can't. Even like the end credit song 1015 that I put on all my videos, I get sick of it. But I get new listeners from people hearing that on the outro of my video, so who am I to complain? At John Henry says hi, says, congratulations Andy. Questions. He wrote a whole bunch of questions. You can see it on screen if I put it up here, but I'll probably answer one or two. What uplifts your heart the most? I think seeing people work their ass off and achieve something really great, like they put in the work and they achieve something. I think that really uplifts my heart. It's probably like, I think people are gonna expect me to answer like, oh, like puppies and baby donkeys or something. I mean, they're pretty cute, but maybe it's because I come from immigrant parents, but I think, I don't know, life just takes a lot of work for some people, and depending on what your circumstances are, I think seeing the fruit of your labor, and obviously only through like good means. If you're doing that through killing people and shit, obviously I'm like, why are we doing that? But yeah, man, I'm sure there's others that I could think of, but for now, I'll put that as my answer. Actually, I'll answer this one as well. If you could have done any activity with any historical figure, what would it be? I'm not Christian, I'm atheist, but I think Jesus would be a pretty cool conversation, because whether you believe in Christianity or not, historians genuinely believe that Jesus was a real person, so I think a conversation with him would be pretty sick. Like, he'd probably be like a really nice dude, and I'll be like, hey man, in the future they whitewash the shit out of you, man. Like in every church you're just like an Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's offensive, but yeah, I feel like Jesus would be a pretty sick person to talk to. At Jesus Popcorn for real asks, why'd you change your YouTube name? For those who didn't know, or if you're a new subscriber, my YouTube channel handle was originally Andalee, like my Instagram and my letterbox and whatever, but I changed it so it could be more recognizable and more identifiable, and I think having a real name adds some humanity and more connection for audiences on YouTube, because otherwise like how would they refer to me as, hey Andalee, like that doesn't sound right. Also, in people in real life, when they ask, what's a YouTube channel name? And I have to like kind of just spell it out for them, which is just a symptom of bad branding, so there you go. At B_D-G3Q asks, how do you avoid burnout? You crank out quality videos nearly weekly. How do you not get exhausted? The trick is, I do get exhausted a lot. I suffer from burnout quite a bit, especially if the video is a long one, like past like 20 minutes, and it takes a lot of editing. Man, that kills me. My body like starts getting sick. It starts mimicking like cold symptoms, and every single time, and I'm just like, man, this sucks, because usually I'll do work during the day and then I would stay at the same desk. Like if I'm working from home, I'll stay at the same desk and start editing and just like repeat that. It goes rough, but no one said doing YouTube is easy, so what am I complaining about? I should probably have a better balance though, but it's hard not to put like 100% into something I make, from my experience, like for me. But thank you for calling them quality videos. I don't think I'll describe them as that. My editing is probably sometimes really piss poor. Like I have plenty of video editing experience. Like if I put the time in, it will look really great. There's a level of humor to making the videos look a bit more amateur, and that helps with getting the videos done on time. At the_car_pen asks, Andy, you're getting up there with subscribers, what would you want to be famous for? There's many things you could realistically be known for. Being a great nerd culturalist, bringing your mother up in society, being the first Australian that doesn't only speak about how huge the spiders are. I love how it just went from like nerd culturist to bringing your mother up in society and helping her live her dreams, and then back to fucking Australia and big spiders. Like what would I want to be famous for? I have a weird thing about not telling people my goals, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far. It's like a weird superstition that I heard through like this video, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a crack, and it actually does help because it makes sure that you're doing it for yourself. So I'm not gonna really say, I just like want to make stuff, you know. All my extra effort is put towards YouTube at the moment because it's like a stepping stone to like having a better life, like for now. So yeah, just probably just not being a piece of shit works for now. At Sam H the Man asks, is Australia hell? It can be days like this. It's summer right now during Christmas, and yeah, days like this, it can be. It can feel like hell with how hot it is. But we haven't had any deaths from school shootings in God knows how long, maybe like decades maybe. And if I was a kid and going to school and knowing there's a chance of a school shooting, or if I was a parent and God forbid my kid is involved in the school shooting, like they have to like go through that experience. I'm not saying they will be the school shooter, but if they have to go through that, like the trauma of that will be insane, and that sounds like hell to me. So, you know. At Cody BV321 asks, do you like any sports? Doesn't have to include physical sports like basketball or football. Could be something like chess or video games. I don't really keep up with sports, even esports. Yeah, I play volleyball with my friends in a social comp in real life. That's about it for sports, apart from going to the gym, but I don't really consider going to gym a sport. I'm still sweating. At Pat the Hunter asks, what are your favorite kind of videos to make on your channel? Is it the short 6 to 13 minute ones, or is it the long form 30-minute videos? I think the 10 to 15 minute is a good range, just for my sanity. Yeah, as I said before, I always get sick editing those 20 to 30 minute ones because it's just like a very long process to edit, and people who don't edit, they don't realize how long it takes. So I know you video editing people understand how I feel. Also, for the longer videos, I usually go off the cuff, apart from just like writing stuff, so that makes it somewhat easier, like in pre-production, like if you can call it pre-production, like I'm making like a feature film or something. The 20-minute-ish ones tend to do well as well. People seem to like those. I think YouTube's kind of changing in what they consider short form, because short form to me, when I was growing up on YouTube, that would be like 3-minute, 4-minute, but now like standards have just like slowly increased, and there's like commentary channels making like 40-minute videos. I'm like, fuck that, are you serious? I already took a shower today, I might have to take another one, Jesus. At Dareth7581 asks, from all the songs that you have written, which one is your favorite? I think the stuff I've written recently that I haven't released, those are my favorites, because as I said before, I just get sick of listening to what I've written previously. But my most recent release song, the one I used in my outro songs, 1015, that's a good pop song, I think. Like, I think I did a pretty good job with that. The song My Diary is also a favorite of mine, and lots of my friends tell me that they really like that song, so they could be lying, but I also think that as well. So at Macedonia, asks, why did you stop using those yellow captions in the videos? I know I sound crazy, but I think it looked funny and I need subtitles. I'm gonna be honest, I was really surprised by the lack of comments I got from dropping those subtitles, because I put a lot of thought into like, oh my god, okay, that's it, I'm not gonna do these subtitles anymore, and then, like, I don't care how much hate I get, like how much begging I get to bring them back, but literally like maybe like 1 or 2 comments max brought it up. Okay, so the first reason I stopped doing this captions, too much work. It just made the editing process just so unbearable for me, and like every time it will be time to do the captions, I'd be like, oh god, here we go. Because guys, the captions are so much work. There's so much editing to go into it. There's so much editing to make sure like nothing is spoiled, like no punchlines are spoiled. Just spelling and grammar as well. It's a nightmare, and it would add like 2 to 3 hours of extra work per video, and every video I'd be like, okay, next video I'm not doing it anymore, and I just kept repeating that, and one day I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Sucks. Second reason, I did get a couple comments about how it was kind of ableist, because some people would actually rely on those subtitles, and the fact that I would switch up the subtitles for jokes and stuff. And if I'm not gonna do it for jokes, like that was literally the main reason I had them for, like comedy value. And if I wasn't gonna have them for comedy, then it really wasn't worth it. And also, I didn't want to be labeled as an ableist by some people. I know I'm not, that's kind of dumb, but yeah. At Ren Talks About asks, are there any projects down the line that you see yourself doing that are way more ambitious? Are there any other projects you plan on doing that aren't related to comics? In short, yes, or I already do music, but I hope to make my own stuff as well, because I do help out in a lot of short films with my friends, and some of my friends are like, hey, you should like really get back into writing stuff, or even directing stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I probably will. It's always fun to write stuff, even though it's really hard to, or I could just make up like my own series, publish it for free for people, because I think I can do a decent job of drawing my own series, comic, like a webtoon or whatever. That would be fun. A lot of work though. Like, hopefully, I'm saying all this stuff. This is why I don't like telling people my goals, because I say this shit and sometimes it just doesn't happen and my priorities change. Like, if you asked me 3 years ago what my goals were, completely different to now. Completely different. But yeah, YouTube takes a lot of time, but if I end up getting more time somehow, it will be nice to do some other projects. At Fictional271 asks, what do you do for a living, and are you a college student? This will probably be the last question of the video. I finished uni last year. So this is kind of my first year out, so I was like, oh, let's just do some casual work here and there. Well, I did have a casual job, and plus YouTube took up so much of my time, even when I wasn't getting paid for it. That was basically like 2 jobs, like YouTube alone and plus the casual job. Yeah, next year I'll probably go into full-time into something one way or another, because it's just like kind of bummy to just not have a full-time 2 years after you graduate. 2024 was kind of my year of freedom and just to do whatever I want. But yeah, I know a lot of people would be curious about that. Just to answer properly, I guess my casual work is to do with like video editing and stuff, but I'm not gonna reveal like what company I work for and shit. That would be weird. Alright, well, I'm sweating my balls off. My forehead is very slippery, and even though I showered today, I probably have to take a shower later again, and my tank top is soaked in sweat. So thank you for the 25,000 subscribers. I hope this video was insightful. I hope the audio isn't terrible, because I did switch microphones. I'm hoping the audio is okay. So yeah, again, thank you for 25,000 subscribers, and if I didn't get to your questions, I'm sorry. I just had to pick and choose because I don't know how long this video is going to be, and I didn't want it to be another editing slog, you know, because I still need to do my regular videos as well. That's it. See ya.